So I am super excited about this set. I was wanting to do a gonk design and my niece asked for one, so here we go. So to start with, we went ahead and removed our old design. There is still some black left and some leaves, but I'm not too worried about that because we're going to use gel polish over it. Before doing that, I of course regained her shape with a hand file, and now we are just rebalancing because they were a little grown out, putting her apex back where it should be. I did leave out the filing and buffing, did that off camera, but it is in the all off video if anybody's interested in seeing a little bit of that. I did leave it in that video. So we went in ahead with that Think Pink color that Madame Glam did for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's a gorgeous color. It really is. So we went ahead with that because we decided we were going to do blue, but then we decided on pink. This does have really good coverage, but we did go ahead with 2 coats of it. So after the 2 coats of gel polish, went ahead and top coated, and then I didn't have to because I used a non-wipe, but if there's a inhibition layer, you want to get that off. Because what I'm going to do is a glitter effect, and that glitter will stick into the inhibition layer, and I only want it on the snowflakes and the icicles. The white that I used was Fizz by Young Nails Mission Control. Next I went in with the glitter, and that little triangle is just to catch any fallout from where I'm going to sprinkle it on. And we decided to use Glitterbels Crystal, one of her fine loose glitters. Then I just took my fan brush, picked up some, and sprinkled it over. Just trying to make sure that I covered all of the white paint that I put on there. Then I had her go in the curing light for 60 seconds after I tapped it off, and then I'll go in with a brush, you'll see me, and brush it off. I went ahead and did some snowflakes on her pointer finger, and we weren't sure what to do on the ring finger, which we ultimately decided just to do snowflakes. But just did different random snowflakes, used my dotting tool to add the little dots, and just try to make some spike, and then just made some with the spikes coming out of the end of the snowflake, but just try to make them look all a little bit different. And then I went back in with my dotting tool for the blank spaces, just to fill it in, make it look like a little bit of falling snow. And then here's where I go in with that brush to brush off all the excess and clean it up. And now we come to the fun part, the gonks, or gnomes. I know people are calling them different things, so wherever you're from, what they call them, or whatever you call them, it's either a gnome or a gonk, I guess. So here, I just went ahead and used a 3D sculpting gel, and I just got one off of Amazon. I'll go ahead and link it. This one is a little soft, a little melty, so it worked out good. I was a little nervous because some of the ones, I was researching, people were saying that, they were a little stiff, but this one worked fine, and really good, but I just realized that I had to move a little fast. My hands were a little warm and stuff being under the lights. It did want to melt down just a little bit, but just had to cure a little more often and make sure that I wasn't overworking it, which was a little hard to do because, as you could see, I had to roll out things pretty well. And I did start out, you just saw me rolling in my hand. I figured out that moving the towel up a little bit and then rolling it on the table actually worked a little bit better. I think the marble of my tabletop was a little cooler. It helped it from, getting too warm and mushy on me. So my strategy for the beard, I went ahead and just laid down the general shape I wanted, and then I made those little noodles and just kind of overlapped them over each other, swirling back and forth, kind of like natural hair does. It doesn't go all straight one direction. So I just kind of weaved it back and forth, side to side, and just played with it until I thought it looked very beardish. Just building it up, giving it some dimension. And now the cutest part of all, the gonk nose. For the shade, I mixed the ivory with a little bit of the brown that was in the kit, made it into the shape I kind of wanted, placed it down, and then just worked it until it was how I wanted it. I did want it a little flat on the bottom. They all seem to look a little flat on the bottom. My niece Madison decided she wanted to go ahead and do the girl gonk on the other nail. We looked at pictures of both, you know. And she really liked the braids that the girl had, so we figured we'd go ahead and do that. I laid the two nails next to each other to make sure I got their noses in about the same place so that I had equal amount of room for the hats. And now I am making the ropes to make the braids for her hair. So I took my dotting tool and I hung that rope over it and just started twisting all the way down to make it as long as I wanted to. And of course, like I said, this kind of got warm with my hands, so I had to, in the end, kind of carve her braids back in, but they were there for me to see so that I could go ahead and know where the line should be. But it worked out really good. Next time I'll just make sure that my room is a little cooler, my hands are a little cooler. And then I used my craft knife to cut them off where I wanted them and then just scooched them into place with my fingers. We decided to go ahead and give her a little pink shirt to match what is going to be a little pink hat. And I just used my silicone tool to kind of squish it in there, seeing as it was an afterthought. We had thought about it before, but then we were like, no, let's pull the color. But then we got thinking that she had the pink hat, so let's go ahead and give her a pink shirt. Moving back to him, it is now time for me to do the hat, which did the same theory on the dotting tool. I went ahead and just swirled my two colors. We went ahead and made a pink. We added a little red to the pink to try and make it more the nail polish color, and then just used a light pink and twisted them to give them the knitted hat effect. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, kind of slightly overlap them a little bit to give it a little dimension. After I got the hat how I wanted it, I went ahead and mixed the two colors to make kind of an in-between color for the brim of the hat and the pom-pom on the end of the hat. I went ahead and used the dotting tool to make the texture in the brim of the hat and to shape the little arch of the hat where the pom-pom lays. And then there I go, just dotting around to give it just some texture, make it look a little furry or fluffy. Decided she wanted a little gem in the hat, so I went ahead with the dotting tool and made a little hole in one area. And then I did also add, just to make sure it stays in there, because she has super curly hair that loves to grab everything, and we put a little bit of the Kiara Sky base coat in there and then cured that. And then we moved on to the girl gonk hat. We decided that she needed to have a snowflake in the center of her shirt. So we went ahead and did the same sugaring effect snowflake that we did on the other nails. I mixed Fizz and Overdrive from the Mission Control paints to make a gray, and then I just added the gray in their beards and to give a little more dimension by popping it into the divots. And here's just me doing the snowflakes that we decided to do on the ring fingers, the same as the pointer fingers, so that everything flows together. And that pretty much concludes the video. And as usual, I will leave a little video of the final product. Hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.